On this episode of Purposely Curious, we look into why Leone and I are currently single in our second edition of Dating Chronicles. We end up having somewhat of a therapy session among friends, and it was nice to discuss the whys and the maybes. If you're single out there, are you currently dating in the COVID era? Have your dating routines changed because of it? Join us and get nice and cozy as we discuss the super fun subject of dating. Hello, Leone.
Greetings, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
I sound very happy, right?
Yeah, you're always happy, though.
Nah, not always.
Not always?
No. Work has been kind of hectic. I think I had mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
For those of you in the medical field, we document in electronic medical records, and we completely changed systems as of September 1st. So I'm having a hard time with change. And so I've been stressed, like mentally drained, because I'm trying to make my visits and seeing patients and then trying to make sure that my documentation, I'm grabbing and extrapolating the correct stuff from the right places. And so I've been getting home really tired. So I'm really happy to be off this weekend and be recording with you.
Nice. Same here. I'm glad to be recording with you too.
Yay. So on this episode, we did I want to say the first few episodes that I put out, we did a Dating Chronicles.
Oh, yeah.
So this will be our second Dating Chronicles episode.
Oh.
So here we have me, Mary, single, right? You, Leone, single.
Correct.
I'm not dating, are you?
No, I'm not dating either.
No? I've been single for 2 years. How about you?
Long time.
Long time.
6 years.
6 years. Oh, yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think with COVID, after, like, obviously, I'm sure there are people dating and flirting, which is natural, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But do you think it'll change after COVID, the way we date, or no, people are just horny and are going to date? Everything's going to go back to normal?
Well, the funny thing is, like, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to change everything, right? The way we work, the way we date and everything. It's like, there's fucking people hooking up right now. They don't give two shits about, like, COVID. Or they're like, hey, so you've been tested? Oh, yeah. Have you? Yeah. Let's get together. You know? And I'm like, I'm telling you, horny people, sex does not stop.
Hey, addiction is addiction.
COVID or not, trust me.
Yeah, so actually I was telling Leone and some of my girlfriends that I have been lately feeling excited about the notion of maybe dating again. Not that I'm gonna go date, but I feel like the last book I read, maybe it's just because I just finished this book. I was super excited for the couple that, you know, I was like, oh, I can't wait. I was so invested in it. I love it. So for me, feeling that excitement of love and feeling that again from a book,
right?
I was telling my girlfriends, I was like, I don't know, I might be getting excited about this because I've been kind of trying not to, wasn't ready, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, I'm older, I don't want to mess with anybody's feelings, even though it happens. I did go on one date in these 2 years that I've been single, and it made me realize that, you know, I'm not ready, or, you know, I wasn't ready at the time to date. The guy was a friend of a friend, really nice. But I just, it took me to go out with him to realize I shouldn't be dating anybody. Like, I'm just not there yet, you know? I guess maybe it's because of my age. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste anybody's time if I'm just not invested.
Now, is it just a bad experience? Like,
no, I think looking back, because he was a friend of a friend, he seemed nice, and my friends were kind of like, "Oh, he's really nice," and I
Right.
think that's why I did it. And I was like, well, I did that in my 20s, right after like my breakups.
Right.
I would date and I was okay, but I feel like at this age, I'm just not willing to put that effort. But I'm happy. I do have moments where I'm sad. I'm sure people get lonely and they're sad.
Right.
But overall, I'm happy. But I think I just wasn't ready. And I think I felt pressured and I was like, well, why not? But literally halfway through it, I was like, yeah, it's not him, it's me.
Well, it's good that
I didn't tell him that though.
well, it's good that you recognize that though. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
a lot of people, you know, don't do that. They don't look inwards. They look and they're like, oh, he just wasn't. Whatever. Fill in the blank. It was always like, yeah, he wasn't right or whatever. And it's just like, maybe it's you. You know. So the fact that you recognize that, the situation, I think that helps and clarify where you're at in terms of, should I be dating or should I not?
Mm-hmm. Now you said you were single for 6 years. Have you gone on some dates in those 6 years?
No, I mean, okay, this is a funny one. This is really hard to swallow, maybe. um, the dates, okay, I have been out with women, and no, they have not been single.
Oh.
And I know that sounds bad, but it's not because these are like, you know, couple of my best friends, that for whatever reason, as a couple in their relationship, they don't go out and do anything. Okay. So for whatever reason, like, her and I would be going out all the time as friends, nothing more. But, it always felt like a date. You know what I'm saying? It was a good time out, a good evening out, a good dinner, conversation, whatever, But like I said, just friends. But for me, it's just always nice to have a female companion, somebody to just go out and talk with, and because it's like if you don't do that, and then you take a long break, and then you want to go back into dating, and you don't even know what's going on in the dating world, right?
Yeah.
Like, remember what we were talking before? How there's no courtship anymore. It's basically swipe right. Do you want to fuck?
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's that it's that simple. It's like, Tinder, whatever. It's like it's down to that. It's like what happened to the days of like, hey, well, let's hey, I'm about to call you tomorrow. It's like no, nobody fucking answers the phone.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to meet at Starbucks anymore. Nobody wants to hang out and get to know. It just goes from 0 to 100. So it's like if you don't know what's going on, if you don't keep up, you don't understand, if you're not around women, if you don't know how to treat a lady, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's all these things that it's like, for me, it's been good to be able to do that without it being a romantic, thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the night, hey, we're friends, we're good friends, and that's it. But I've always treated them like a date. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'll pay for dinner, I'll pay for the trip. We'll go here, whatever. We'll go to this, whatever, concert, whatever. Have a good time, because they're not getting that in their relationship for whatever reason, and I'm single and I'm just bored. So that's the type of dating I've been doing. But like I said, it's not really dating. It's more like it's a good thing for me to be around my female friends,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, discussing the climate of dating and what's really going on out there and how things are evolving,
Yeah.
So
it's definitely crazier. I've out of the whole dating scene. I did, with the pressure of my friends, joined Coffee Meets Bagel.
Right.
Was it last year?
I love that name. That's funny.
Well, my friend met her husband on it. So
okay, that's right.
Yeah, I decided to join it, and guess who was a suggestion on someone I should like? Want me to say?
Yeah.
My ex.
Your ex
who,
suggested it.
no, he was part of the suggestions.
Huh.
So the profiles that the app was suggesting. And so I was like, yeah, this is too fucking weird. And I deleted the app immediately. And I told my
Oh,
girlfriends, I was like, it suggested my ex and it was awkward for me. So I'm off the apps, guys.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, the funny thing is, because I worked in radio, right? And
Uh-huh.
where I worked, we had over 300 employees, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
And when I did go back on, what was it? What's that? eHarmony. When I went back on eHarmony the second time, okay, I got matched up with 6 girls that I work with in the building.
Oh, wow.
It was so fucking embarrassing because, they get notified.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I know she saw this, So, of course, it was like me walking office to office, just laughing, like smiling, be like, hey, so, yeah, kind of weird, huh? Kind of funny, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're
It's
totally
awkward.
not my
Yeah.
type, not my type. Like,
Yeah.
they're great people. Don't get me wrong, they're great women, but
Yeah.
we're not my type because we're very different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not what I'm looking
Yeah.
for, So we
That's
had a
important.
good laugh, but I'm like, really? Like, this is supposed to be so anonymous, and it matched me with 6 people I work with.
Yeah. And does that mean they see you on eHarmony as
Oh
well?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Once you get matched, when they come up as a match, they're notified that you're a match, and then they can see your profile.
Oh.
So that's when I
I
was
don't
like,
know how Coffee Meets Bagel works, but I'm just curious. But yeah. Okay. Interesting.
that's when I mean, it was a good laugh,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if these girls, were ever intrigued to like get to know me better that way. I mean, we've been friends for years, you know what I'm saying, and not like they were interested in me. They're definitely, I'm not their type. You know what I'm saying? So it is just funny how that happened. But that's when I realized I got to get off this. This is just too, like, this is
Too weird.
crazy. This is too weird.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I felt super weird. I was like, why are you suggesting my ex? Like, come on. And I'm still friends with my ex. Like, we had an amicable breakup,
Right.
a few years ago.
Right.
But it was very awkward. It was super awkward. And actually, one of my friends who's not my type also came up on there. I'm not his type either. But I messaged him. I was like, hey, you came up on my Coffee Meets Bagel, and we laughed about it. Like, but I deleted the app. So I'm not on any apps, guys.
Damn.
I just want to meet someone naturally.
I was
So
looking for you earlier. Couldn't find you.
yeah, that's why probably. And they probably think I'm fishing with my pictures if I put any on.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so let me tell you this. Let me ask you this, excuse me. If one of the girls had actually wanted to talk to you, you said they weren't your type, would you have considered it, being that you maybe knew them on another level versus not knowing them at all?
Yeah, I would have considered if they had interest. And this is okay. This is my train of thought. Okay, and this is gonna suck or not. It's not gonna agree with people. Okay, or you perhaps or anybody. But when I know somebody has a certain type, and I'm not it, I don't even bother. You know what I'm saying? It's a game I'm not gonna win.
Yeah.
So that's when I know it's like I know what that girl's into, and it ain't me. So that's why I'm like, she's cool, she's nice, she's great, she's really attractive, whatever. But that's an effort I'm not gonna gain anywhere. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I kind of like, not my thing.
You're like, I'll just stay in the friend zone.
Yeah, I mean, but if they're interested, I would be shocked because I'm not their, I know for a fact I'm not their type, and nothing wrong with that because we all have preferences, right? And you and I were talking about this secretly about preferences, and
Secretly.
yeah, and that's cool because I think people should have preferences. You shouldn't just do whatever because whatever, or go and be pressured into a certain someone because your friends told you or because you're forced into it. It's like, no, dude, you have a preference, stick with your preference and go with it.
Yeah.
But I probably would have, yeah, because it's intriguing because I want to see how far down the rabbit hole that would go.
Mm-hmm.
But
Leave no stone
knowing,
unturned.
yeah, but knowing what I know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I've been there, done that so many times. I ain't gonna win. Next, you know,
Next.
next.
Yeah. So you discussed the feeling pressured thing. Have you ever felt pressured by a girl
Not,
where it turned you off?
yeah, once, yeah, once, and actually not that long ago too.
No.
Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and she just, and it's, I mean, this is somebody I've known for a long time too, and you know, pretty great woman overall, but I mean, she had no shame in straight out telling me, "I want your last name."
Oh.
Like I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like she went from like, "Hey, we've been friends for a long time," to like, "Oh, I'm gonna do whatever to win you over," and I'm like, "Okay," you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that was a big turnoff for me, and not because of her being aggressive or whatever, because I know she has issues in life. And she
We
was
all do.
no, but she's been like very very vocal. She shared them with me, and I'm like, when your issues involve other men, it's just one of those things where I'm like, well, why? It's like I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're clearly hooking up with other guys, and you're clearly okay with it, and you clearly want to have children with some of them, but then all of a sudden you want me. It's like, eh.
So she comes off like she doesn't know what she wants.
Yeah, but not only that, she's also not afraid to say, yeah, I want your last name, but also want to just fuck around, do whatever I want. And I'm like, not my thing.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it all comes down to trust, okay? Because everything moves towards sex, and then you talk about STD and all that shit, and it's like, there's no trust with this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's been trust with plenty of other women. Just this one, there's no trust, and it's crazy because I've known her forever. And it's just one of those things where like, yeah, we've been friends forever, but damn, I don't trust you right there because you don't give, you don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. Like, look, you gotta care because there's so much shit going around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad you didn't go for it.
No, I'm glad too. Yeah.
I myself have felt pressured several times. And
by a guy?
By a guy, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure I've maybe made a guy feel like that when I was younger. But I actually recently had a friend kind of say the same thing, similar to not my last name, but which I love my last name, by the way.
Nice.
Side note. But he did say something like he would wait till I was ready because, we get along. And then that's one of the things that annoys me is that, like, I was like, I was like, what I essentially told him, I was like, I'm not in a place to date or even consider it dating. My mistake was maybe not saying like, I don't see you that way. Does that make sense? But
Right.
what I said, I guess at the time I was like, I'm not in a place to date right now. I'm not ready to date anybody. And so he was like, that's okay. I'm willing to do the waiting,
So this is somebody this is somebody you've never hooked up with before?
Never.
Okay.
We had a long friendship. But after this, like when they joke around, like when you break up with someone, people start to slide into your DMs.
Of course.
That's not at all what he was doing. We were friends. Like we talk about sports, I like him a lot in that sense. Like
Right.
intellectually, I dig him, you know what I mean? But I don't know if he was starting to get feelings for me. Does that, you know what I mean? And so I was very honest because at my age, I was like, I want to talk about things really up front. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to lead anybody on, right?
Right.
And I told him, and I think I might have told you this as well. I had told him that essentially I wasn't ready. And maybe I should have said, I don't see you that way, but he was like, it's okay. I will wait, as much as you want. And then he was still acting like normal. And I told him, I said, I feel pressured right now. Like, I don't like that. Like, essentially, not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And then he said something. I'm not going to go into too much detail for fear of if they're listening, but
yeah, they're listening for sure.
It really hurt my feelings that I felt like I couldn't be friends with someone. And I'm not saying this is nothing bad on the person. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I just felt like, and that's why it kind of, remember I told you I went on that date and I was like, I'm not ready. And then this happened. And I was just like, yeah, I really want to stay away from guys in general. Cause I tend to have, I don't know what vibes I give as far as like being super, cause I'm super friendly. I'm super social. Right. I want, tell me about you. If I just met you, I'm going to ask you, tell me about you. Tell me this, tell me that. So maybe people take it like I'm super interested. I'm interested. But I'm generally curious. Hence, purposely curious podcast.
The whole podcast was started because she's interested in guys.
I'm interested in everybody and everything.
She goes both ways.
Oh God, Leone's making fun of me, guys.
Come on,
okay,
I'm laughing with you.
I need to work on that.
I
need to work on that. I need to stop being so sensitive.
Yeah, you do. It's a joke.
I need to take a joke. But yeah, so I don't like feeling pressured. Like my last ex-boyfriend, who I was with for 6 years, I think, he wanted to know where we stood. And I wasn't ready yet at the time. And I said, I don't know where I'm at.
You mean for like the next level, like engagement?
No. Dating. This was when we first started.
Oh, when you started. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. So if you have other women that are prospects or that are trying to, or, like by all means go and see them, because
right.
I couldn't tell him yes or no, but I was not in that right mind, if that makes sense. That had nothing to do with him. But when he gave me like, where do we stand kind of conversation, I was like, okay, I don't know where we stand because I don't know where I stand in my own personal life.
Right.
It's that whole, it's not you, it's me.
That's the worst.
That seems to be a thing with me. It's not you, it's me. And it's not intentional. I'm just a little complicated. A complicated book.
Well, nothing wrong with that. It's just the point in your life that you're trying to sort yourself out.
Yes.
So
and I, with my first one, that was the one I told you I had met when Aaliyah died.
Yes.
That one was like, I had never fallen in love before. So it was whirlwind, Now I overthink things. I need, it's like crazy.
Right.
To get me to date you, it's you have to be patient as fuck because it's not you, it's me.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I'm okay not dating right now, but I do get excited at the idea of potentially getting excited about dating. So that to me means I'm getting there.
That's great though. I mean, it just shows you that the power of a well-written book can do that. You know what I'm saying? Can bring you back to memories of that thought, the butterflies in the stomach, the excitement, the anticipation, the nervousness, the, all that, the expectations, and then whether it's good or bad, it's amazing that something like that can, sometimes it's movies, but in this case it's books for you, and it's, that's amazing. That's great. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have you flirted with anyone recently?
That's a good question.
And how do you flirt with people when you have? I don't know. How do you flirt?
That's, two very good questions.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
My name is Leone. What's up?
Yeah. I'm going to say no to the first question. I'm going to say I don't think so because I did just, But I can understand. I can see why people would think that I did or have, because sometimes it's my personality, you know. Like when I get to know
You're
somebody,
chatty yourself, yeah.
yeah. But it's just, you know, when it's a female, it's like I want to get to know her. You know what I'm saying? And I want to, you know, and I'll make her laugh and I'll compliment. You know what I'm saying? And that can be taken as, oh, he's flirting, but in reality, it's not. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I totally get it.
it's because I would do that to, you know, anyone, a girl that I was interested in or not, you know. And so how I do it, I don't know. It's maybe just like that, just in conversation, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like to use, you know, cheap one-liners or just throw out, you know, cheap compliments or whatever, you know. It's like, no, I want it to be organic and, you know,
As it should be, yeah.
and it's easy. Like, for example, if I see a photo online or something from some girl I'm interested in, like, it's so easy for me to say, hey, you know, that's a really beautiful photo, you know. And, you know, usually it elicits a response, and you know, and it's like, oh, thank you, you know, whatever. And then nothing, it doesn't go beyond like, hey, just, you know, hope everything's well, have a nice day, whatever. Because, you know, I'm not looking for anything with that person. It's a innocent flirtation, innocence. There's no mastermind plan behind it, you know. Because obviously right now there's a lot of people that don't want to hook up, don't want to date, don't want to meet up, you know. And it's like, yeah, there's no point in pursuing that, you know what I'm saying? If that's not going to happen, you know.
Yeah. I think if it, for women and men, it's, you know, be patient with certain people and it'll happen naturally.
Oh, definitely.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it will. Because, you know, then you have people who, like me, don't feel like the pressure. Because then we're like, yeah, no.
I'm the same way. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
But I hear so many stupid things from people and friends, you know, for example, and they're like, dude, like, you gotta just like do it. She's great, this and that, whatever. And I'm like, you know, it's like, hey, I'm not feeling it. End of story, you know?
Yeah.
And then they want to hear a shallow response from me. You know, they want to hear it's like, oh, she's too tall, she's too short. Like, oh, and then for me, it's never that. I give them a fucking dissertation as to why, and then they're like, oh, you know, they're kind of like, and I'm like, yeah, dude, it's, you know, like Mary said, it's not you, it's me.
I'm looking for, I got some expectations I gotta sort out on my end.
That's funny.
That's what you tell them, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I just saw an ant going up my wall, and that's giving me anxiety because I'm like, is this the only one or is there more? Because I need to fucking, tomorrow, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be like, is there more than one here? Because we're going to go all out and make sure we fix this problem.
Well,
it's just one that I see, but I know because it's summer.
Look, Mary, I've been in your place. I know you very well. And, you know, you're just too damn sweet.
They do like sweet things.
Yeah, they do. So you got to understand it, baby. It's like, you're just too damn sweet.
Oh, Lord.
And it's a good thing.
Wait, are you flirting with me, Leone?
Yes, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Let's start over.
Oh, my God.
How funny. Yeah. I don't know. I think I flirt awkwardly.
What do you like?
When I do
like,
flirt.
hey, nice shoes?
Sure. Nice shoes. I like what you're wearing. No, I don't know, honestly. Now I'm curious. How do I flirt?
I don't know. I mean, I could tell you, because you and I have been out to dinner. We've hung out. We've been, you know, remember, I told you, I'm very observant. And I have a photographic memory, you know. I could tell you things sitting next to you, what you did. Now, I don't think you were flirting with me, but perhaps it was your flirtatious nature.
So, meaning I could be flirtatious without even realizing it.
Yes.
Because that's just my personality, that I'm like fun, like.
Yeah. But that's only because I observed that behavior only. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem.
It's not a
I have.
problem. It's there's three ways you can be. You can be stone cold Mary, like fucking resting bitch face Mary, or like get the fuck away from me, you know, like not interested, you know, or you could be Mary that I know, or you could be like the Mary that I know plus and then some, you know, and that's
So,
overly like stating like okay, I'm really flirting with you now, you know.
yeah. So I think for me, unless a guy is disrespectful, I'm not going to be rude, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, it does make sense, but I still noticed something about you that was more friendlier, more interested. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, this has got nothing to do with me. It just has to do with your nature of who you are. Because
then I'm
because you
curious.
yeah, because you are curious, right? Because you're like, hey, so tell me about you, like, you know. And it's little things. It's how close you sit. It's whether or not you touched my arm. It's how many times you laughed or smiled. And especially if you laughed at my stupid, dumb jokes, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, these are not things that you and I were not flirting, you know what I'm saying? It was just
Yeah.
hanging out, getting to know each other kind of thing. But it can be translated into, hey, she's flirting.
Yeah. That's happened to me a lot.
Yeah, but the way I observed that was that's just her nature. That's just the way she is, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, it would be nice if other people felt the same as you.
well, I mean,
And I can read it right off.
no, but I gotta say, it's very nice. It's a nice feeling to feel, for lack of a better word, to feel wanted. You know what I'm saying? To feel
Mm-hmm.
like this girl cares. You know what I'm saying? Like she,
Cares or wanted? There's a difference.
no, this girl cares about the conversation, about getting to know me, and you feel
Mm-hmm.
wanted in the sense that this girl wants to know more about me.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
nothing more beyond that. But see,
Yeah.
I'm not that stupid where I would read into it like, fuck, this girl wants to fuck, you know, like she's totally into me. I'm not that shallow. I'm not that simple
Yeah.
because, like I said,
And
I can read very clearly between the lines of how the conversation goes, where it's going, where the interest is, where it's not.
yeah. Yeah.
And
And I agree with you because I am the same way like with guys as I am with my girlfriends. Or if I go and hang out like with a girl that I've never hung out with outside of our friends, I'm going to be with her just as interested. And so I do know that that is my way of being.
right,
And so I have had that issue in the past where people are like, well, I thought you were interested in me because you were asking me about my life. And I was like, well, I'm interested about you as a person.
right, right,
So it's gotten me in trouble
right,
sometimes. But those of you guys who know me know that I'm very social and I genuinely want to know about people.
right.
But I'm curious to know when I'm definitely, obviously, I must be different when I'm into someone. I must
Maybe
act different. Do you know what I mean?
maybe that's
For
the
sure.
that's the next level, the next step, you know.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen that, so I could not tell you. You know, I can only observe with what I saw was, yeah, this girl is flirtatious, but not in the sense where I'm going to read into this. I'm not going to read into this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just her nature. It's just who she is. And mind you, I have a couple best friends, a couple girlfriends who are do the same thing, and they're just good natured people like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's and that's I'm like, oh, Mary's one of those. You know, and I never took it the wrong way. I never misunderstood your your language or anything. You know, and yeah, I'm sure that you take it to the next level. You know,
When I'm interested.
yeah, I'm sure you do, and it's like until you can pinpoint what that is, you know, like if you know, then you know. Sometimes you don't know, because sometimes you know the conversation can go to like something like, so what's your favorite soccer team, who do you whatever, and who's your favorite player, what then you get into the logistics of it and you're like, okay, now I have a deeper connection to this guy because we share the same team, same player, whatever. And then he goes one deeper, you know. Then you start asking another question, and you get into another conversation, and then maybe that's your connection. You know, it gets like narrower until you fine tune it with somebody, and you're like, wow, now I'm really flirting with this guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm a little slower than most people. I know that to come around. But it has nothing to do with the person. So I might be attracted to someone right off the bat.
Right.
But I'm looking for that intellectual connection at this age. So, funny story. I did some eye flirting.
What's eye flirting?
Eye flirting in the time of COVID. Well, it wasn't eye flirting. So I don't know. Did I tell you the story at Starbucks?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
Guys, this was the most... Okay, so I have been telling everyone I don't want to date because I didn't want to date. I didn't want to flirt with anyone. You know, I saw a handsome man. I just don't give a shit. You know, I'm just like mentally not there. But I was telling my friends, Leone included, that this was like a month ago maybe. Right. I went to Starbucks. I went through the drive-thru, and I had probably had like some days at work are really stressful with my patients. So I just feel like I need like a pick me up, right? So I'll do the drive-thru, and I think I had received my drink, but I was waiting for my pastry, whatever it was, or vice versa. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I was, you know, when you're at the drive-thru window, you kind of just look in the drive-thru window, right? And so they were waiting, and they were like, give us a second. We're waiting on this. Again, I can't remember if it was the drink. The person then walked away to go see where it was, if it was being done. And there was a customer inside with his mask, and I had my mask on, and we made eye contact, but we made eye contact like longer than what would be considered normal.
Right.
That I got so nervous, and I looked away all awkward, and I was like, oh my God, like that was so awkward. But like, it was a little too long where we stared at each other, and obviously I was attracted to his eyes, right?
Right.
And it seemed he was. So I'm still waiting for my drink or whatever it was, right? I look back inside, and he's there. He looks up, and we're staring at each other again for a few seconds. He's a customer waiting for his drink on the other side. And I'm like, okay, this is so awkward. And I almost was smiling under my mask because I was like, do I look away, or, I don't want to make eye contact again. So I remember telling everyone, I think I was like eye flirting with this guy, which was a first. And I think this was like a month ago.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was, but it was just
See, that's something I will not do.
No.
No, you know why? Because I go back to that. There's an old Twilight Zone episode. Yeah. It's the one where they do surgery on the girl. There's a bunch of doctors and nurses, and then they have her head bandaged up. And then they remove the bandages, and they're trying to explain to her. They're like, look, we're going to try to correct this and make you look normal again, so please, don't be alarmed if it didn't work, So when they take off the bandages and she looks in the mirror, she looks human. But the doctors that were underneath the masks, their faces were like pig faces, Mm-hmm. So there was all I could think of. Everywhere I go now, I'm like,
oh Lord.
I'm like shopping, and I'm like, that girl's hot, but I don't know what the fuck is under that mask.
Oh God.
So I am
horrible.
Not attracted to just the eyes. I'm sorry.
You imagine? Oh, I'm like, I finally found a guy, and then I'm like not
His
attracted.
Teeth are black.
Oh.
He's missing teeth.
Oh,
he's got herpes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's
Anyways,
why,
I thought that was a funny story.
That's why you don't do the eye flirting.
The eye flirting. Well, I did it, and that was it. I drove off right after.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I am getting there.
I think
I
you're
definitely. There. You think I'm there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're there.
Well, we'll see.
How are you going to meet this person? I don't know, but
I know, because I don't really leave my house and work, and I only hang out with my people, my core people.
Right.
And family. I don't know. One of my girlfriends thinks I'm going to meet someone online.
It's highly possible.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody's online now, so it's not like it was 10 years ago where it's like, oh, that's weird, Mary. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
My my one of my girlfriends, she's single and she's actually is dating on apps right now.
Hmm.
But she says it's not nothing good is out there. That's what she said.
Well, I mean, there's good out there. It's just the nature of, it depends what service you're on. It depends,
Yeah.
because it's like, people forget that there's some, like, if you're on Tinder or Match, like, you're in it for sex. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
if you don't understand that guys are on there for sex, then you're on the wrong service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to be doing apps for sure.
you have to
I'm not.
find a different service that is not known for that.
Yeah, I'm staying off apps. I ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah.
That's just me. No, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about I don't have time for dealing with random randos that are weird.
But she has time for sex, so you're all good.
That was funny. Wait, is my mom listening? I'm just kidding.
Senora.
She's gonna call me. My mom calls me. She'll see like a story. Oh, so Leone was my first guest on this podcast. And we did one where I was interviewing him and the horror culture. And he came over because he was showing me how to do it because I have like my setup and everything. I had posted a picture of Leone had showed me that what are those wine glasses that don't have the stout thingy?
Yeah.
How if you put it sideways, it kind of just lifts up. And he did that, and I filmed him. And so my mom saw a man's hand and the cup do that. And she was like texting me, "Oh, who are you with? I saw a man's hand." And I was like, "It's my friend, mom." Like, my mom is a creeper snooping, and she will text me and call me.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's almost like I'm not afraid of men being in it, but she's super nosy. Super nosy, and
That's
I
funny.
love her for it. Honestly, I do. I'm not gonna hate on it, but yeah,
That's
she might be
hilarious.
listening here and Google
Oh,
translating the
yeah,
whole
she's
thing.
totally listening. That's funny.
Google translating. Oh my god, I love my mom.
That's funny.
So, what do you think will take? What will it take for you to date?
That's a really good question. I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest with you, because um, for a long time, I was not dating, but I, you know, I had, aside from my friendly dates that I was telling you about,
Mm-hmm.
I had arrangements with, a certain woman, for example. But, and that's when I realized, okay, dating really sucks because I had a really bad experience, my last relationship, and I don't want to repeat that. And then it comes down to like, well, what am I missing? Am I lonely? Nope. Do I need companionship? Nope. Because I have these great girlfriends that I hang out with. We go on dates, like I said, and it's like, well, what's left? Missing sex? Yeah. And then soon you realize, well, do you want to do do I want to do the whole dating thing just for that? Because that's not me. Like if I'm dating somebody, it's because I'm interested in them. Like I want something, you know,
Yeah,
hopefully it grows and evolves into some kind of long-term relationship or something.
yeah. I totally get where you're coming from because I have not been with a lot of people in that department. Remember we talked about my first boyfriend. I met him when I was 17, and
Right.
we broke up when I was like 23. So while all my friends were being college whores, I was in love and I thought I was going to marry this guy.
Right.
So I am definitely a lot more tamed than my girlfriends were in our 20s. So they always would, pressure me to go out there, but it's just not in me. So I kind of get where you're coming from, and maybe that's where I'm like not dating essentially.
Right.
because I don't want to deal with any of that. It will happen. Trust me. I know me. When I'm interested in a guy, I go for it. Like,
Right.
there's no questions. It's not going to be a problem.
Right.
But I just don't want to deal with feeling pressured by guys because that's what they want.
Right.
So, yeah. It's definitely, it's very interesting that we're having this conversation because we're essentially talking about why we are single, and I find it very intriguing.
Right.
It's like a little therapy session.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But
I
no.
have, go
You're gonna
ahead.
say, sorry, you gonna say?
No, you go, please.
No, I was gonna say I don't know, like how this is gonna evolve into like, oh, that's somebody who's into me. That's somebody I like. Wow, I'm into them. I don't know what's gonna take for that to happen. It's not rocket scientist. I'm sorry, it's not rocket science because for me, like when I came out of a relationship and I felt like, oh man, like this is over. It feels like the best thing I had is over. Like a month later, something so random happens, so stupidly random, at a store, at a bookstore, pumping gas, whatever, where I'll meet somebody, right? And then it's like, holy shit, that girl's really nice. And the next thing you know, it's like you're talking, exchanging numbers, and it's like you're meeting up for a casual get to know each other date, whatever, and maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I am. It's like, if it goes there, that's great. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not, against it. But
I've had friends who've had similar situations like what you just said, where it's like they're devastated and then a month later they meet someone and it's like completely in love.
right.
That's never happened to me. And I don't know if, obviously it's been 2 years now. But I don't know if it's maybe because after breakups, I close myself off emotionally to
Right.
people. My cousin Nessie told me this one day, that she liked that after breakups, I'm single for a while. And I don't know, it's something with maybe me wanting to get over the person before jumping into anything.
Right.
I don't know. But I have had friends who have met their husbands a month later after feeling their world was over
Yeah.
from a breakup. So I'm like, when you said that, I was like, yeah, I've never had that.
But that's the
Why?
thing. Well,
Why not?
I can maybe I can give you a hint, and it's got nothing to do with you specifically. But this is kind of when I have these conversations. For example, just recently, I was telling you about this. One of my best friends, who I hang out with all the time, she just went through a breakup. After 2 years, like she thought this guy was going to propose to her soon. You know what I'm saying? And then she went through a breakup, and she's devastated, right? Mm-hmm. And she's a great woman. She's a catch. Like she's fuck. I'm trying to explain to her that it's like, why is it that you feel that was the last opportunity for the rest of your life? Like you're 30 years old, and you're an amazing woman, and there's plenty of guys that want you, but she doesn't see that, right?
Yeah,
and that's okay.
She's hurting.
Yeah, and that's fine. But, it's just one of those things where I'm like, it's the same advice that I can give her. I can tell you, and it's like, look, if you stay home and do nothing, right? You're not going to meet.
Which is what I do.
You're not going to meet anybody. But
Yeah.
You're social. You're social. I know you are. But and the reason why I always meet people is because if I don't meet you online, like on some social media, whatever, because I loved your photo, or we have something you did, maybe you're an artist and I love your shit, whatever. If it's going to be something in my social circles, and I have a few of them. Like one of them is photography, one is hiking, one is cooking, one is science, one is music, guitars,
Yeah.
and one is art, painting. So like one of those 6 things, right? I have 6 different circles, and some of my friends from this circle do not know friends from that other circle, And the cool thing is like, you get invited to things, right? Hey, come on over, having a wine and whatever, get together. Cool. Hey, we're having a barbecue. Hey, so you go to different things, different places, different people, and then eventually you meet somebody who came along just for the ride,
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that
Same
that
as you do.
person, yeah, exactly. And it turns out that that person's like great, like you're a match. Like had I not gone, I would have never met that person, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, I'm like, look, you're single, get out there. You're like, well, I don't know what to do. It's like, go to those wine and paint, nights, where you sip wine and paint some shit, on acrylic canvas or whatever, like do one of those things. If you have like no friends that are free, whatever, go to one of those things, go to a book club, go to a hiking club. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of ways to put yourself out there. And maybe there's nobody in those groups, right? But eventually somebody does show up. And that catches your eye. And then you're like, oh, hey, what's your name?
So maybe I'm showing up somewhere on someone's timeline, somewhere who's a mutual friend of a mutual friend.
That is true. That is true.
Hit me up. No, I'm just kidding. Don't hit me up. No,
I'm telling you.
I hate those. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's
but no,
funny.
that's,
No, it
that's
makes
how
it
it,
makes
that's how it
total
works.
total sense. It makes total sense. Yeah, because earlier I told you I met my first boyfriend at my cousin's wedding, and I didn't want to go. I wanted to go to the K-Rock concert.
Right.
And my parents were dragged my ass, and yeah, I totally get it. It was in one of my social circles.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I remember one night, and I remember the date too. It's when was it the Columbia space shuttle that blew up that killed the astronauts. I want to say it was like
in the 80s, right?
No. That was Challenger. This happened like maybe 10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was February 2nd. I don't remember the year exactly, but I was home and I was depressed because all my friends knew that it's like, hey, I know you work for NASA, this and this, and that's so sad, and whatever. We're just chatting, whatever, right? And I was so depressed, and it was like a light rain, right? February 2nd, not a night that I'm gonna go out at all, right? I'm just home, depressed, in front of the computer, just typing some shit up, some assignment, whatever, right? And I get a message from this girl who I loved her music, and she reached out to me specifically, and she said, hey, come to Highland Grounds tonight. Highland Grounds was a singer-songwriter club in Hollywood. And she goes, come to Highland Grounds tonight. Come play a set with me. Because I play guitar, right? And I was like, what the fuck? I thought she was joking, right? I thought I read it wrong. I thought, first of all, I thought she said, come see my set. And she said, no, come play a set with me. And then, like, I got that burst of inspiration. Because, I thought this girl was really cute. This girl was really, really good looking, really beautiful, really intelligent. But I knew she wasn't into me. But the thing is, she reached out to me. And I thought, you know what? I know her friends are coming. And sure enough, I went out that night, met them in Hollywood. We were practicing outside for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Finally played her set at 10 o'clock, hung out, and guess what? I ended up dating a roommate.
Oh, see? Perfect.
If I did not go out that night, I would have never met her roommate.
Yeah. I need to go out more. I need to go out more, guys.
It's just, it's just the thing,
Yeah.
Like if that's your thing, I know girlfriends, friends of mine who like, they don't do the whole going out thing. They just swipe right and they're cool with that, but the thing is they keep getting devastated because I'm like, please understand that you're on a service where you're swiping right to fuck tonight and that's it. And the guy knows that. And how do you not know that?
Yeah.
He ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he got what he wanted. Like, how do you not understand? That's why I keep telling people, I'm like, look, if you have an interest, go out there and explore it,
Yeah.
But if you're okay with what's going on with some of the online culture, that's cool too. If that's your thing, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Just don't get disappointed.
I have girlfriends who are on it just specifically. They're essentially breaking guys' hearts without realizing it.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Of
It's
course.
not just guys. But yeah, I will not be dealing with any of that. Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
That's
right.
my choice, guys. So I will take Leone's advice and get out there. And I do turn down a lot of things, but that's just because I'm a homebody. So I'm going to make an effort and get out there. That's what I've gathered.
And that's, the cool thing is we're lucky. Okay. And I know people listen to the show from around the world, right? And some of you people live in some pretty amazing cities in like Paris and Amsterdam and all that, but we're lucky. You and I live in LA, right? We live here. We have like so many cool events, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm gonna give you one. There's one coming up at Descanso Gardens. It's the forest that's really close to me. It's like 10 minutes from where I live. It's a forest up in the foothills. It's a nature preserve. And they used to do this jack-o'-lantern thing every year. Then they stopped. And they're bringing it back this year. Like, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to find a lady to take to that.
Good.
I'm going to find somebody. And doesn't have to be a stranger. Maybe some acquaintance I might know, whatever. I'm going to be like, hey, this is probably the only fucking Halloween thing that's going on this year, but let's go hang out and walk through the forest and look at jack-o'-lanterns, for 2 miles,
Yeah. Do it.
But that's the thing, what I'm saying? It's like, there's plenty of things to do.
There is.
Plenty of ways to get to know somebody, And if you're out there, if you're looking, if you're wondering, if you're stuck, if you don't know it's like, look at these options. And they may not work the first time, the second time, but I guarantee you, if you keep going, you eventually do meet somebody.
Yeah.
And
when it's due.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're also one of those people that somebody says to you, hey, I know somebody for you, and that works out, that's great too. For me, that's never worked out.
Yeah.
Every time somebody said to me, hey, I know somebody for you, not even close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? I don't know. I was kind of buzzed, but I thought she's great for you. And I'm like, please don't.
Yeah. Yeah, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah. So, okay. So you and I are going to make an effort to get out there. For our listeners, he's going to take a girl over there to that Descanso
Gardens.
Yes. And I am going to go out, leave the house.
Mary's like, I'm going to go shopping for Target stuff.
Maybe I'll find somebody there. No, I'm just kidding.
You never know. You never know. That's the whole point.
I know. You never know. You really don't.
I've been like, I have so many crazy stories I could tell you that have happened to me by pure accident, or as that word, they say serendipity, a fortunate accident. Or I look back at how crazy it was that it's like, had I not gone out of bed, did I not shower, change clothes, or showed up or whatever, like I would have never met you, Just so random, but something in the universe pushes you towards something. And sometimes
I believe that 100%.
Yeah. And sometimes you might feel it. Sometimes you might feel it. Like, you know what? Something's telling me that I have to go. I have to show up, whatever. And then you do, and you're like, damn.
I believe that 100%. I believe that 100%. Life puts the people that are meant to be in your life and takes them out when they need to be, right? But some people are always going to be in your life for A or B.
Yeah. I have to turn the table around a little bit here and ask you, what is it going to take you to start dating again?
I think I'm getting there. I know, remember I said after every relationship I've been single for a while, kind of. Just the fact that I was excited. And I know if there's any book nerds out there, like, I'm not just saying it because I love to read, but this last book I read, I was so excited. And when I finished the book, I was sad that it finished, but I told myself, I can't wait to feel that. And I hadn't told myself that in 2 years.
That's great.
Post breakup, you know what I mean?
Right.
I knew that I would date again, because I've had 3 relationships that are, 3 heartbreaks for A or B, even regardless if we broke up amicably. But that was the first time in the last 2 years that I said, I can't wait to have that and feel that again.
Right.
Before I didn't say that to myself. I was just like, just let me be, kind of.
Right.
So I think I'm getting there. COVID obviously makes it a little harder, right? Versus going places. But I think I'm a believer that when you're open to things, things happen.
Right.
So kind of like what you said, for me, maybe it was just time. So who knows? I have a feeling it's coming.
That's good. That's good. And that,
I don't know why I'm saying that, but I do. I feel it.
no, it's good. And that, the crazy thing is that, and I hate saying this, but I'm sorry, it is true. It is so much easier for a female to find a male than it is the other way around.
Oh, no.
It is. It is.
No.
Yeah, it is. Trust me. And
no. No.
Trust me. And if you even look at the dating apps, it even works that way in the same favor too, because of how many there are versus how many messages are being exchanged and in what direction and all that. But it's gonna be when you find somebody that you like, it's gonna go pretty smooth. It's gonna go pretty quick.
You think so?
Yeah. The question is, are you gonna be ready for the because the thing is the quickness, for like.
Oh, I don't know.
Because it's like, you might meet somebody and then the guy might be like, hey, wow, you know what? Like, how about we go out to, sometime like this weekend or something? And then you might be thinking like, fuck, I wasn't ready for that,
Yeah, I don't know. So I do get scared off easily, but it has nothing to do with the person. I think I just feel like, yes, I'm curious now.
What scares you off though?
I don't like feeling pressured or rush anything. Because I want to make sure. So I've grown into relationships, if that makes sense, the ones I've had. So I don't know that in my persona I could, but I'm not saying, my first love was like that, obviously, quick, boom. Oh God, this is it,
Right.
It could happen. I'm not saying that it can, but I feel like my personality maybe is just like that. I don't know, but I'll let you know if that does happen. I'm not saying I'm not open to it, but I like things to happen naturally, and maybe I'm a little slower than others. So, and when I'm saying that, I'm not saying like nothing happens between me and the person per se. I'm just saying like, don't pressure me into like what, those talks kind of throw me off. Yeah, just let it happen. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just the bad experiences I've had.
Yeah, that happens,
Yeah. I don't know. Well, if it does happen, I'm not going to not welcome it. I think it depends on how the person goes about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I hear a story where you tell me like, I don't know, he's left-handed, so I just can't do it.
I'm not that crazy.
I'm going to be like, Mary, you're fucking nuts.
I am not that crazy. No. I am not that crazy. That's for sure. I don't think I'm that crazy. I should ask my girlfriends.
Right.
I don't think I'm that crazy.
Mary's crazy.
No, what I have heard that from my exes is that I've been the least crazy they've ever dated. So I think it's because I overanalyze and think things a lot. But I'm not saying I'm not crazy in other ways. Because I drove them nuts in certain ways. And that's like, I can't read you kind of thing. I used to get that a lot. What are you thinking? And I just like shut down. I'm like, But that's a whole nother story.
It's therapy session 305.
Therapy session. I know. I should go to therapy. I really should. My parents have definitely molded me into why I am the way I am.
Right.
And I don't know that's... Well, no, I actually think it's a good thing because, yeah, well, 50-50. Anyway.
Right.
But yes, I'm excited. I think, like I said, I had that epiphany or whatever when I closed that book and I said, I cannot wait for that to happen to me. So I think I'm there. I'm getting there, or
so
I'm at the doorstep.
When you say
I just
that,
gotta walk.
When you say that, were you reading 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight?
Neither.
That's a joke.
I know. No, but dude, I have read books that are 50 Shades of Grey type. I have not read the Twilight ones, but yeah. Those get me excited for other stuff. Like,
of course. That's why you said, like, I'm so excited for this. And I'm like, was it Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey?
No, so this was very PG, but it was a really nice story. But yes, I have read those naughty books.
Naughty books.
Those naughty books I have. Yeah, I'm reading Jessica Simpson's memoir right now, so it's not naughty at all. We're talking about her addictions, but
Crazy.
anyways.
Yeah.
But thank you again for doing another episode with me.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
We talked about, it was like a therapy session for both of us.
Yeah.
And dating and why we're not dating.
Because I don't need it.
Right? Well, I mean, I know I'm happy, although like I said earlier, I do have moments where I do get sad or, I feel emo or lonely, but it's a lot less than my happy moments. But that's now, if you talked to me 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I had more of those sad what is it? Sad moments.
Yeah.
Of transition of being single again and,
right.
Actually missing the person that you were with. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I still get those sometimes. I'm human, so I'm just glad that it's not, I don't know. Just for those of you guys out there, everyone do you, but don't ever feel pressured. If you're not ready to date, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. And
when you're ready.
Definitely when you're ready. And especially during times like these where, our whole lives are turned upside down because we're forced to stay at home and all that shit, it's just, this is a good time to reevaluate what you want in life in terms of a partner or dating or both, and how to go about it. If you're single looking, how to go about it. I share with you guys some examples of what I do, and even if you don't do anything, it could be just a simple fact that you went out to put gas in your car and something happened. You never know when life's going to hit you that way. And that's a good thing.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. You never know. And that's when your love story will begin.
That's right.
And we end it here. And I look forward to giving you guys another episode coming up soon. And thank you so much. So see you next time. Bye. That was episode 29 of the Purposely Curious podcast. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and most podcast platforms. And follow us on social media at Purposely Curious on Instagram and at Purposely C Pod on Twitter. That's Purposely, the letter C, Pod. Until next time, you know what to do.